Sometimes you just get tired of people riding on your tail. So I told the wife, make me some big letters in orange that says back off. Try to get them off my bumper. You ever want something like that? Let me know. Let's check this out. Today, here at Hidden Hollow Loft in Homestead, home of the roosters, home of the pigeons, home of the gardens, home of the big yard, home with a lot of things to do. I remember a while back, my buddy John over there at Hands Flight Kit Box told me, pace yourself, don't get into so many things at one time because you could be overwhelmed. Whew. Overwhelmed ain't the word for it. So I went into the garden this morning with a tiller because, you know, gardens start getting weeds in them. And I tried to combat it. So yesterday I went to the garden store and the wife decided she wanted some peonies. She got that peony right there. And this one smells really nice, white peony, see that? Man, they smell good. I'm not sure where she wants me to put them yet, so I won't be planting them for right now. But as you can see, we got 2-3 packs of Hungarian wax hot peppers. We got some more red sweet peppers. We got some Jubilee watermelons, some big beef tomatoes, and some cilantro. So I'm sitting there thinking in my garden, so I only have so much room in there. But as I started working in there, I came up with a plan. One of these days I'm gonna get my yard straightened out. Tank, no. Tank's gonna bug the birds. But as you see, I got my pigeons out. They're flying around there. I had a big old hawk fly over here this morning. There they go. But as for the garden, this is where I'm at today. At least this morning. And then I'm gonna straighten up the yard, put everything where it needs to be, and you know, that kind of stuff. So the garden was getting overrun with weeds. So I decided I needed to do something about it. And I had a pepper die. One of the peppers died there. There was one over here. It wasn't looking too good, but they all look pretty good now. I'll tell you, if you ever need a tiller, a good tiller, that little Cub Cadet FT24 has been kicking butt. This is the second year. Like I said, when I started this garden plot, this big garden plot, it looked just like that. It was just nothing but grass. So last year, when I did it, I went out and got a big truckload of horse, cow, and pig manure, and I spread it all out here and mixed it all in. I said, hey, that worked out pretty good. As you can see, I took the tiller down each row. Went down that row, this row, and all the rows. And even between my squash plants, which you can see, got a lot of grass. I'm getting ready to do them. And as you see, you know, they always tell you to plant 2 or 3 in a mound. Well, 2 or 3 are growing a mound, and then you'll have one that doesn't have nothing. And then, here we go again. I'm believing this is zucchini, because I planted a couple of zucchinis. And I'm trying to figure out, yeah, the leaves look totally different. I planted watermelon here and there. And they didn't seem to come up so well, so I threw a couple of zucchini in there. I'm not really sure what's going on yet. I'm getting ready to find out. Well, I didn't have a whole lot of room. You see my beans are working. Beans are looking real good. Those are my green beans. Then I've got these are my snow peas, I believe, all on the fence. I might have to replant some, you know, move them out a little bit further from each other because I got some room. And then I've got you see this is still a mess, I haven't got to it yet either. These are my regular peas. You see a bunch of the big ones growing up here. I'm gonna have to weed them out. I got my hoe, it works great. And then you got my mammoth sunflowers, and there's some, I forget what they're called, but they're a reddish color. They're smaller. See the smaller ones right there? And you got the big ones. These guys last year in this ground grew over 12 foot tall. I had to run a string from that post to that post to help tie them straight up so they didn't fall over it easily. But you see, I got some corn in here. This is all good white sweet corn. There's 2 rows. Well, that one big long row, then there's whatever you want to call this. Like I said, I haven't got in here yet. I'm doing an example. But this big row right here, I planted some regular field corn out of my feed bag. And I was saying, you know what? I could utilize this area a whole lot better for my stuff and food that I'm going to eat than a few ears of corn that I might get for the animals. I'll just buy them a bag of corn. And it'll be a whole lot more. So I went ahead and I tilled this up real good. Some of those plants that I just showed you are going to go in here. Anyway, I would like to make a statement. These tomato plants, these things were small when I got them. They were only a couple weeks old. I've had them. And the peppers too. I bought these from a nursery. I'll tell you, the best thing about going to a nursery is that, for one, they're cheaper. At least where I go. I can't remember the name. It's right on the edge of Winchester, Virginia, across the street from Lowe's. But these plants, a 3-pack, and they're almost this tall when you get them. Some tomato plants they have are that big. $3.99 for a 3-pack. You go to Lowe's, you go to Home Depot or something like that, you'll pay more than that for one plant. The difference is, these plants are organic, naturally grown, naturally raised. The difference on this and the ones you get at Lowe's and Home Depot is Lowe's and Home Depot and certain places, a certain, I guess, suppliers they get their plants from. I'm not going to bash anybody, but I know a couple names. they how do you call it, like the GMOs, they're bred with pesticides built in to keep the insects off. Well, I mean, you need insects on your plants. I'm not saying to kind of kill your plants and eat your plants, but butterflies and bees and stuff like that pollinate one plant to another. If you ever wonder why you don't see bees flying around and butterflies as much as you used to, I mean, you look at all these little dandelions, these white dandelions out here in the field. When I was a kid, I remember walking barefoot was dangerous because you had to watch every step because there was so many bees. I think I've seen one this year, one honeybee. See all these plants, all these dandelions and stuff, there is not one bee. It's because of stuff like that. It's because of these plants that you're buying wholesale. I mean, I'm not the first one to tell you that bees are disappearing off the planet. They're like one of the fastest growing endangered species that there is. I could mention another one, but I'm not going to go there today. But anyway, I'm going to go through here. I'm going to fix all these mounds. See, I got the dirt all plowed up and make my bigger mounds. I'm going to transplant some of these to the mounds that don't have nothing. I'm going to go over here where my cucumbers are at. See, these are cucumbers. There's like that big space right there, don't have nothing. I'll move these guys over, transplant them over in there, kind of even it out. I'll do the same with my snow peas. Then you got this thing. Tank, what are you doing today? Tank's enjoying the sunshine. Right here under this cedar tree. Oh man, it's so sweet. And this ground is so soft. Too bad it doesn't get the sun, but then it wouldn't be what it is. So I've got onions growing. I just planted them the other day. Look how big they are already. And I'll tell you why. Because my loft over there, I have to clean it every so often. Pigeon poop is some of the best fertilizer you can get. And I'm finding out because I took 3 wheelbarrows over the course of, I guess, the last 4 months or so. And I brought it out here and dumped it and threw it all over the place before I plowed my yard up this year, my garden. And I'm going to tell you, stuff is growing really big. Anyway, that's just an update on the Hidden Hollow Homestead part of my channel. I'm going to go down through here and, like I said, I'm going to go here, finish weeding. When I'm done weeding, I'm going to make some rows. I'm going to make half a row here and one big row over there because I like to be able to walk down through my rows. I like to have a little bit of room. I like to be able to run my tiller down there because there was so much weeds and grass growing down through the middle that the tiller was the ticket. Oh, that's a buzzard up there, I guess. But that's it for me today. And I'm going to plant those peppers, those tomatoes over in here because we make salsa. My wife makes a killer salsa. And we're gonna definitely need to make a bunch because it was in such high demand over the winter that we actually ran out. I don't have none because we gave all ours away to other people, which is a nice thing to do. But when I go get my tortilla chips and I go to grab a jar of salsa and there ain't none, it's kind of sad. So we're gonna make plenty this year. But anyway, the roosters are crowing. Tank's taking a nap. Ain't you, Tank? Tank, you good boy? He's about 11 years old. Just my best friend in the whole wide world. Tell you all to have a great day. and have a great Memorial weekend. Cherries out.